Hi again, Year 8. It's now lesson 3 of week 2. We've been looking this week at en el mercado, in the market. So can you please, before you do anything else, write the date and the title in your exercise book and underline them. So escribid el título en el mercado, luego escribid la fecha, write the date, subrayad con una regla, underline it with a ruler, please. And then we're ready to do this final lesson of this week, lesson 3. So as a starter, we're just going to do a quick recap of the preterite tense of AR verbs, please. So the verb to buy is comprar. Okay, it's a regular AR verb. So I'd like you, please, as a starter, you can use your verb tables, look back in your exercise book, look back at your preterite tense verb table we were doing last half term. I'd like I bought, you bought, he bought, we, you, and they bought, please, in Spanish. Pause the video while you do that, and when you're ready, move on to correct it. Okay, so here we go. Let's correct it now. You've got I bought. Now remember, the preterite tense is the simple past. It's formed by taking the infinitive of the verb, to buy, to go, to run, to ride. We're looking at AR verbs here, so things like to visit, to ride, visitar, montar. And here we've got comprar, hablar will be the same. You take the AR off the end of the verb to leave the stem, hopefully some of you said then. So you're leaving the stem, and onto the stem you put what? You put the ending according to who did the action. And if it's an AR verb in the preterite, the first ending is E with an accent. So you get compré. You bought. The ending is aste, so it should be compraste. He or she bought. Same thing. Take the AR ending off. Leave the stem, C-O-M-P-R. The ending in the preterite for he or she or it is O with an accent. So it's compró. We bought, compramos. Now, someone please shout at the screen and tell me, what do you need to remember about compramos? I have no idea if you're shouting or not, but hopefully someone is telling me that it's the same as the present tense, and it is. Compramos, if you saw it on its own, you don't know if that's the preterite or if it's the present tense. You only know by the context. So if it said, hoy compramos, today we are buying, that would be the present. If it says, ayer compramos, yesterday we bought. Okay, so you don't know without other context which tense that's in. Okay, you plural bought, so more than one person bought something, and this is the longest one. It's astes on the stem, so comprastes, you plural bought, and they bought, compraron. Compré, compraste, compró, compramos, comprastes, compraron. Okay, so that's revised the preterite tense of AR verbs, which in the context of en el mercado, you can use to talk about what you bought. Okay, so we're doing a couple of exercises today, and the first one is a translation. So I have here a short text. You are going to put it into English, please. You need to think carefully about this. It's got things like time expressions, it's got qualifiers, it's got adjectives, it's got sequences, it's got the vocabulary we've looked at this week, the food and drink vocabulary, and it's got the weights that you with which you buy things, so things like 200 grams and so on. So you need to look carefully at this translation and then write it. You don't need to write it in Spanish first. You're going to do some of that on your own in a second. You need to write this in English, please. Off you go, pause the video, and when you have finished, but only then, move on to find out the correct translation. Thank you. Okay, so hopefully you've had a go at this. I want you to please get your red pens out and look at your translation and look really carefully at whether you got this correct. If you had things that you didn't understand, that you'd forgotten, then please fill them in with a red pen and then make a target for yourself afterwards about what you need to revise. So let's have a look. El fin de semana pasado is last weekend. Salí con mi madre. So salí is the preterite tense. I went out. It comes from the verb salir. So I went out with my mum. Fuimos al mercado. We did loads of work with fuimos. You must know that that comes from ir. We went. You've got al there, which is a what's the word I'm looking for? The two things have been squished together. A plus L makes al. Fuimos al mercado. We went to the market. Y fue bastante aburrido. So there's your nice qualifier there. It wasn't very boring, but it was quite boring. Fue bastante aburrido. Firstly, here's your sequencer. Up here it was primero, it's firstly. So firstly, we compramos half a kilo of potatoes and carrots. Compramos medio kilo de patatas y zanahorias. Then we got another, I've used one as well to say it. So then we have another sequencer, luego, which means then. Then I bought lettuce, chorizo, and a loaf of bread. Luego compré una lechuga, chorizo y una barra de pan. Why did he buy that? Because he's going to make a sandwich, porque voy a hacer un bocadillo. Finally, we bought 200 grams of fish and 400 grams of grapes. Finalmente compramos 200 gramos de pescado y 400 gramos de uvas. So, couple of things here. Firstly, hopefully you knew the vocabulary, you understood it, and you made a good go of the translation. If there was stuff there you didn't know, then think about what did you not know the vocabulary for things like lettuce and sandwich and bread, for example? Was it the weights that you'd forgotten, the numbers, 200, 400? Was it the time expressions, el fin de semana pasado, or the sequences, primero, luego, finalmente? All right, so think about what you didn't know, because you're going to be doing some writing in a moment and you will need to remember all of this to get your own work done. So correct it with red pen, write a target for yourself if you can identify what it is that you need to work on. Okay, so to come to the other main task today, you are going to now write a paragraph describing a past shopping trip to a food market. Include a range of verbs and vocab, at least 2 tenses, preterite and present. Extend your work to say what you will buy next time using the near future tense. Now, if you just go back to what you've just done, the way we worked this one, we had last weekend I went out, we went, I bought, we bought, but we had a future in here. I'm going to make a sandwich. So that's a good way of getting another tense in. You can either use the future to say maybe what you're going to eat, or maybe what you're going to buy next time. I'd like you to use the present as well. And the easiest way to use the present, probably in this paragraph, is by saying maybe what you like. So compramos, we bought ensalada, lechuga y tomates, porque me encanta la ensalada, because I love salad. All right, so I'd like verbs, vocab, 2 tenses, 3 please for most of you, because you can easily get the near future tense in there as well. Success criteria, present, preterite, near future tenses. Use numbers and quantities. Use time phrases. There are some connectives here to help you. Y también, además, pero, aunque. And you should aim to write, I didn't put this in here, let's put it in now. I just need to, let's go back a second. I want to annotate this here to say, aim to write 90 words. Okay, so 90 words should enable you to get some detail in there. Okay, so you need to pause the video now. You need to spend about 20 minutes on this task, please, and to get a good quality piece of writing done. When you have done it, then you need to submit a picture on the assignment, and you also need to just look at these last couple of slides what we've been doing this week. These are our objectives and we've met them all, so long as you have set your targets on how to improve further based on how you did in the exercises through the week and how you did particularly on that translation. Okay, and if you, here we go, you can't peer assess, that's an old slide, but if you can think about how you've done, evaluate your own work, please, and think about what targets you need to set. And I'd like you to include that in the picture when you submit your writing. Thank you very much indeed, Year 8, for your hard work this week, and we will see you back in school really soon now, so can't wait for that. Okay, thank you very much indeed, Year 8. Adios.